gonna be talking about in this video is how to add and subtract monomials. If you are not sure as to what monomials are, go on and watch the video that we got in the anatomy series as to what a monomial is. Real quick overview: a monomial is it's an expression with just one term. It's an expression with one term and its own positive or negative sign. Let's look at some examples as to what I'm talking about. So, for example, we got the number 6. Is the number 6 a monomial? And the answer is yes, because it's just one thing with its own sign. I mean, obviously this is positive, so I don't gotta put that right there. But the number 6, positive 6, is a monomial. Looking right here at number 2, this is negative 6. Is negative 6, does that qualify as a monomial? Excuse me. And again, just kind of break the word up. A monomial, mono means one, nomial means number, so it's one number with its own sign. Negative 6 is its own number with its own sign. It's 6, but it's negative. It has its own sign. So number 6 is also a monomial. Number 3, we got just a positive x. Is a positive x a monomial? And again, just before we start these examples, it would be good to kind of lay a foundation. So it's positive x a monomial? And the answer is yeah. Why is it a monomial? Why is it a single number? Because it has its own sign. It's positive. You know, of course, if we don't got a negative sign, that means it's positive. But so this is a positive. We don't know what number, exactly that it is, but it's there. It's not zero. It might be 0, but again, it's a number with its own sign, and we know it's not negative because otherwise it would be negative x. So x is number 3 is a monomial. 3x, excuse me. 3x is a monomial. It's a single number. Now I know you might be I want to just explain a little bit. 3x is the same as 3 times x. And this might look like 2 different numbers. And really, to be honest, it might qualify as that. But here's the thing. Multiplication does not make terms. Positive and negative signs are what separate terms in an equation. Again, please go back and watch the video on either equations and also monomials. But this can be grouped together. We can turn it into a monomial, which is what usually the case is. And, we don't write it like that. We just write it as 3x. But the important thing to remember is that multiplication and division are not what separate terms. Positive and negative signs, or more specifically, addition signs and subtraction signs are what separate terms. But we'll get into that when we get into polynomials and stuff. But number 4 is a monomial. What about number 5? We got negative 3x plus 6. Is this a monomial? Is it a single number? The answer for this one is no. Number 5 is not. It is not a monomial. Excuse me. Why is it not a monomial? Well, again, like I just said, positive signs and negative signs, which you can also think about as addition and subtraction signs. Addition and subtraction signs are what separate 2 terms. And again, a monomial is 1 term. So if we have 2 terms, it's not a monomial. How do we know if we have 2 terms? If it's a positive or a negative sign in between them. So let's look at this right quick. So we got negative 3x right here. But if you look in between this and 6, there's a positive sign. So that means this is a polynomial, which we'll get to in later videos, but this is not a monomial. and 1y squared. Again, multiplication doesn't separate terms. So this is a monomial. So I might just leave that right there. But let's do a couple of examples on how to add and subtract monomials. Let's say we had something like 8x plus 2x. What would the answer to this be? Now again, we're adding monomials together now. We got one monomial right here, and we got another one right here. So when we combine them, what is the answer gonna be? How do we go about adding these two monomials? Well, it's pretty straightforward. When you're adding monomials, it's like adding, it's the same as adding like terms. So as long as the variables are the exact same, all we do is we add the coefficients together, and we leave the variable the same. So 8 plus 2 is 10, and we leave the variable the same. So the answer to 8x plus 2x is 10x. I want to take a real quick second to let you know that x is not equal x squared. So if we had this does not equal 10x because these x's are not the exact same. But we'll get into that, you know what I'm saying, later on down the road. Let's do another example. Let's say we had something like 2y minus 1x plus 1y. So how we go about solving this equation right here? We got a couple different monomials that we got to deal with, but the principle is the same. Find all the variables that are the exact same. So let's start right there. So we got this 2y, which is positive, and we got another 1y. So we can add those two together. It's gonna be 3y, and what do we got left? That's just gonna be negative 1x. We can't do nothing with that, so we just leave it alone. And so this is our answer. 2y minus 1x plus 1y is gonna be 3y minus 1x. Again, you just look at the variables that are the exact same, and then you go through with the arithmetic from there. Let's do one of these. Let's say we had 10z. Let's see. I was gonna do z, but that looked too much. So let's do 10y squared minus 5y. What is this gonna be? I think this will be a good little example. So what do you think that we're supposed to do in this situation? Excuse me. Well, the first thing is, you look at the variables, you look at the letters, and if they're not the exact same, we can't do nothing with it. So looking at this y, which is the variable right here, these are not the exact same, so there's nothing that we can really do with this. There is something, we could factor some stuff out, but we're not doing that in this video. So for this one, we'll put can't be simplified. It can't be simplified. So this is essentially gonna be the answer. You don't have to change that. Let's do a couple little more examples. Kind of drive the thing home. Let's do this right here. 3c plus 2c minus 5x. Excuse me. So again, just like with the other problems, we look at each monomial. We got 3 different monomials that we dealing with. First thing you want to do is look at the variable. look at the variables that are the exact same. So in this one, we got two variables that are the exact same. So what we do is we add the numbers that's in front of the variable, excuse me, and then we just do our arithmetic from there. So 3c plus 2c is gonna be 5c minus 5x. Now what you don't wanna do is subtract 5 minus 5 and stuff like that. And the reason we can't do that with this is because we got a c and we got an x. So these two terms are speaking different languages. They not like terms, as we would say. So this is gonna be our answer. This is where we stop. This is where we stop doing. This is where we stop. The reason we stop is because we can't simplify this really any further. So 3c plus 2c minus 5x is 5c minus 5x. Let's see, what do I do? 7 plus 3a plus, I'm gonna do minus b plus a. Take a second and see if you can kind of. Now again, I just want to input. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to kind of see what y'all can come up with on their own. But let me just point out. You remember what a monomial is? It's a term with its own sign. It's an expression with its own sign. So we got this one right here. This is a positive 7. That's a monomial. And then we got a positive 3a. That's a monomial. And then we got a negative b. That's its own monomial because it's separated by all of these plus and minus signs. This is what separates one monomial from the next. And then we got a positive a on the end. So take a second to see what you can come up with for this right here. So again, we're gonna it's mechanical. It's a real mechanical thing when you're doing a lot of algebra. You don't want to try to freestyle it. So we're gonna do the same thing that we've been doing. We're gonna look at the variables that are the exact same, and then do the arithmetic until we can't no more. So we ain't got no 7s. We ain't gonna worry about that right now. We got an A and we got another A. Point of clarity. Any variable that's just by itself always has a 1 in front of it. Because if you think about it, all this is saying is 1 times A. So when we got this little single A right here, we can go ahead. You might not notice, but it's a 1 that's already in front of that. Remember that for the rest of your life. Any variable, I don't care what variable it is, it could be X, Y, B, anything like that, it always has a 1 in front of it. Then believe it or not, that's gonna be useful as you do more complicated science experiments and more complicated math problems. But back to the problem, we got 3A and a 1A. So we got a positive 3A and a positive 1A, so we can combine those two. So we got 7 plus 3A plus 1A. We add the coefficients and we leave the variable the same. And we don't got no more B's, so we just gotta leave that alone. And so this is gonna be what we're left with. 7 plus 3A minus B plus 1A is 7 plus 4A minus B. And that's, let's do one more example. Let me see. Let's do just one more example. Let's use one of these right here. Negative 3x plus 6 plus 3x let's see what we can do with this right here. So take a second, see if you can kind of see how we're supposed to figure this out. Excuse me. And again, all the rules are the same. We start off looking at what variables are the same, and we just kind of go from there. So, what do we got here? We got basically, we don't got no other variables except for x. We got an x right here, we got an x right here. So we can combine those two. The way that we combine them is the way we add and subtract these monomials is by adding and subtracting the coefficients, which is the number in front of the variable. So we got a -3 plus a +3, which is gonna give us 0. So all that we're gonna be left with is 6. And that's our answer.